would fare in such an event. KTVU's Jana Katsuyama joins us live from San Francisco to show us how technology is being used for the first time in a new hospital construction project. Jana.
Andre, we're talking about the California Pacific Medical Center's new hospital here on Van Ness Avenue. We got to take a tour inside. It's still under construction, but they showed us how this new seismic safety system brought in from Japan has been installed. It is one of many steps that is going on right now in San Francisco to prepare for a quake here. A construction boom in San Francisco has had engineers considering how to keep each building safe in a major earthquake. Inside the new CPMC hospital on Van Ness Avenue, a new approach has been built into the structure, very different from the high-rise buildings like the Salesforce Tower or the One Rincon residential building.
They rely on a central concrete core, and that core has to be strong enough and stiff enough to resist the earthquake forces. With this building, what we're doing is we're adding damping to the building rather than strength and stiffness.
Jay Love is an engineer overseeing the CPMC project. Dampers to energy.
Viscous wall dampers, it has not been used in the U.S. before. It's a Japanese technology, first developed in the late 80s and employed in tall buildings in Japan in the 90s and into the 2000s.
More than 100 of the dampers are built into the walls of the 12-floor hospital.
This is a box right here. This box, and it's about 3 or 4 inches thick. Inside, and it's connected to the floor below. Up above, there are steel plates, or vanes we call them, that extend down into this box. So within the box, the plates can move back and forth. When you pour the viscous fluid in there, it now has to move back and forth with that fluid and push the fluid out of the way, and that's what absorbs the energy.
In order to get approval to use the new technology in California, the team had to go through a rigorous series of tests with prototypes made by the same Nevada company that built seismic absorbers used in San Francisco and Oakland city halls. Throughout San Francisco, a recent study of high-rise buildings resulted in 16 recommendations. The buildings department now is taking steps to implement them.
It's underway from the internal planning right now, and I suspect that by January we will start this public task force looking at some of these recommendations.
Also, a mandatory seismic retrofitting program on some 5,000 residential structures is in its final stages. Those building owners are required to complete seismic upgrades on so-called soft-story structures that have garages or retail space on the first floor. That must be completed by 2020.
With no retrofitting, 1 in 4 of this particular type of building is subject to collapse. With a little bit of minimal retrofitting, it goes to 1 in 30.
And he says that so far compliance on those residential retrofits is about 95% throughout the city. As for the CPMC building, they're planning to encase all of those dampers within the walls, and they should have the building set to open in March. Andre?
All right, we'll see how that new technology works in that building. Jana Katsuyama.